my good friend Olav Zipser joins us down in Thailand. How are you, Olav?
I'm doing very well, Regan. Very, very, very well. Yeah, it's nice and warm here, and I'm enjoying the life bit of skydive retirement.
Fantastic. Snowing here, Olav. I think you've got the best weather right now. Skydive retirement, eh?
Well, sort of. It's a COVID time. You know, people have very hard travel restrictions here coming to Thailand. I have a nice brand new drop zone, nice Kodiak, everything brand new, very posh drop zone built by rich people, 10 kilometers away, right on the beach. It's beautiful. I invite everyone as soon as COVID time is finished, come and join me here. But for now, just stay away and wait a little longer. Thailand is very strict on their COVID measurements, you know, but it's getting better.
Where exactly are you in Thailand?
Well, if you would look at the map, you would look at Bangkok, and then you would go bottom right, you know, towards Cambodia, you know. The best landmark here is Koh Samet, very famous. Koh Samet used to be a party island, not so much anymore. Koh Samet is pretty much on that beach area there. There are many beautiful little islands with coral reefs and no tourists. Fantastic.
You look great, Olav. You look healthy. You look fit.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you very much. I need a little dentist. I need some fix-ups because I haven't been back to Germany for 2 years. But I'm feeling well, and I'm doing lots of sports, and I'm doing my art, and I'm feeling good. Thank you. How about you?
All good. Art as well. Loving the art. And
I'm seeing your paintings. You're doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. In fact, I've got one I need to start this afternoon for a friend of mine who's ordered one. So thanks for the reminder. I'd almost forgotten about that. So,
that's nice.
I want to talk about this amazing career and life, Olav. Let's go back to Germany. Tell me about how it all started from you. Your first jump, was it something you'd considered, or was it out of the blue, or what?
You know what? It didn't start. It started in Germany. It didn't. I was living in Germany. I was a dentist, a dental technician in training. Finished my stats exam, going for the dentist license, and wanted to go hang gliding as one of my vacation booking, like people do. You know, they book in advance and make a vacation. So I was interested in some flying, going hang gliding. I was close to 20 years old. And there was no hang gliding courses available. So travel agencies suggested, go to Holland, go do skydiving. And that's what I signed up for out of the blue. Had no friends, no one in my family. It was just by funny choice. So travel agency did it for me, basically.
Which drop zone in Holland did you go to?
Texel. World famous. Yeah, very famous, you know. And which is really funny. It just reminded me that it's actually a little island. And on my 7th jump, it only took me 6 jumps to graduate. I was like wonder child. First one they graduated with 6 jumps in 1986. So my 7th jump was a solo jump from above the clouds, complete cloud ceiling. And I remember asking the guy in the I think it maybe Hermann Landsmann being the loadmaster. And I go, man, it's like, where's the island? And he goes like, don't worry, it's below the clouds. You know, I'm like completely new. It's like, where's the island? You know, it's like, what the fuck? Where's the island? It's like, what about when I miss it? I'm so nervous. It's my first jump and I'm above the cloud. Can't even see the fucking island, you know? It was fantastic. It was fantastic. I pulled above the clouds. I remember how amazing. That was the most alone ever. Right. On my parachute above the clouds, 7th jump for myself, and just like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then there was the island.
Herman was one of the first people to bring AFF to Europe. I mean, was it an AFF course you did, right?
Yes, he was, and him and Ivan and Wim van Paris, they were the jump masters in Texel, which was the only place in Europe aside of Empuria Brava, which had the 2 test year pre-license, maybe not, who knows. They were testing it, you know. Yeah. I think a year later, it actually became official in 87, as far as I believe, you know. So I was one of the first ones in Europe who enjoyed this kind of program.
Yeah. Were you quite sporty anyway as a teenager? Were you doing other things?
Yes. Yes, I was super good in the water, swimming, scuba diving, jumping in the water, swimming competitions from any kind of water sports. I was very good in, or did even in competition international. My parents, they supported both my brother and myself to be super sporty. And mama drove us everywhere where there were competitions. We were, that was our life, you know, school, home, and competition swimming. So swimming, that's why I call it swimming in the ocean of gas. You know, I never liked the word free fall, because I don't want to fall. I don't want to hurt. Falling means hurting or breaking something. You know, that's what I imagined first. I didn't like that. And I go like, if I change my life from being a dentist and making lots of money and have kind of cool life, it's my family thing to do, being in that branch. If I change that, then I'm not gonna learn to become better faller. No, that always did make sense to me. That's why I called it free flying, and kind of included the manipulation of all the air around the human body, even the air behind you, where the low air pressures are, you know. When I got taught to be imagining the skydiving, that kind of taught me to have the air cushion imagining in front of me, or being on the ball and rolling back and forth, pushing the air back and forth. What about the air which is pulling me up and back and forth? You know, it's like there's another force field which one can use if one thinks free fly.
Yes.
And not
that's from being in the water.
That's
from being in the water, from swimming, having that experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's hydrodynamics and aerodynamics are in very good cousins, say like that. You know, they're not all the way the same, but one can learn from the other. And as I grew up in the water without even speaking much, thinking much, but understanding of what that all means to manipulate what's around me, it kind of did the same thing in the sky. And they let me loose on my 7th jump. I was so by myself, and I couldn't believe it. I go like, wow, this is amazing. I'd do that.
So when did you first start thinking about moving off your belly and using the air around you? And where were you where that happened?
Probably jump number 5, when I did all the loop-de-doops in the AFF. You know, they're just from jump number 4, I got graduated to number 6. So in jump number 4, I did jump number 4 and jump number 5. It's where you do loopings at that time and do your orientational training, you know, like knowing of what a 360 is or looping, and then recover and shit, you know. And that was a joke to me. That was just like in home. I was in the water playing with the fishies, you know.
Yes.
And I did that and had so much time. I did my jump master, Ivan, I think it was, or Wim, or maybe Herman, I don't know. They said like, wow, man, that's amazing. You just do another turn, and I do another turn. And I stayed right there. They didn't even have to chase me. And I looked at them and they go like, holy shit, man, this is awesome. And then I graduated on jump number 6, which was super cool for me. I felt like endorsed, you know, I felt like patted on the shoulder and go like, man, I was wonder child. It was awesome.
It's amazing to hear. I don't think we've had this conversation before. And, you know, it's a birth of free flying, the birth of moving your body like in the water, the atmosphere dolphins, as it has been described. Yeah. When did you have the idea that this could become your life, Olav? When did that?
At that time. Right there. Yeah. Well, my family was always sporty and traveling. We had motorhomes and a boat behind, and any kind of school vacation, Papa took the whole family, and we were modern gypsies, you know, and that was awesome. And I didn't necessarily like the dentist job, you know. That's kind of cool. I like making jewelry and stuff, you know. I like making teeth also, and I like making money, but I like to live well even more, you know. And then the skydiving came, and I thought about it in such a different way that I impressed my jump masters, and they go like, well, holy shit, man, you must go to Florida. That's what I did. I ended up in Zephyr Hills with 13 jumps, and stopped my work as a dentist for a while, and traveled, and fell in love with skydiving even more and more. Learned on the campfires in Zephyr Hills that my English was bad. and I couldn't hardly talk about of what I didn't even put in words of, at that time, when you have 15 jumps and you end up in Zephyr Hills, no one wants to jump with you.
Right.
You just don't have enough jumps, So I ended up doing even more of my experimenting. I think I had 30 jumps, and I was like jumping out last of the DC3 and seeing how fast I can go without having a speed wobble, and passing 30 ways which jump out in front of me, making experiments like this. I felt like Jonathan Living Siegel,
Yeah.
doing all kinds of experiments. And later on, someone actually gave me this book. And then I go like, wow, man, that's exactly what I did in the last few years, sort of, it was a super fun time, from coming from a dentist family, super orderly, always going to school, being dressed well and behaving well, and fingernails nice and haircut beautiful, dentist family boy, into like skydiving world in trailer parks and enjoying the more wild rock and roll side of what I'm talking about, being like 20 and then being in that environment, and wow, it was just fantastic. I loved it. I never went back to fixing teeth, I just
What year was this then? You're in Zephyr Hills now, you got 20 jumps or something, you're discovering
I'm in Zephyr Hills in 1986.
86. And how did you take to that lifestyle? I mean, a complete change from what you would, your life in Germany. This almost like
not really, not necessarily, because I was doing sports. I was doing sports in Germany. Here I was flying. There I was swimming.
Yes.
I lived in trailers 3 months of the year in Europe while I grew up, because we had school vacations and my papa traveled and we saw all Europe in trailer life. I was still living in a trailer, this time with other hippies, and flying enthusiastic new friends, which speak all English and I can't understand them, which all is a cool challenge on the fire pit in the evening.
Yeah.
It was no problem. There was no big change. It was just fantastic, free, new young 20-year-old boy discovering the world, lifestyle, fun, so awesome. I'd do it again if I could.
Who else was around at that time trying new
John LeBlanc stole my girlfriend, became his wife. He had 3 sons with him, with her. I mean, that was all okay. Didn't steal. That was just for fun. But anyhow, John LeBlanc was a super good friend at that time already, and still is. Ben Reyners. Some of the people didn't make it until these days. They stopped living during that time, or other, not jumping anymore. It's a long time ago. It's like 35 years or even more or something, I'd say like my best life witness from exactly my first day at skydiving is John LeBlanc from PD, next time you interview him, ask him about me. He will probably tell you some cool stories. Was sitting in the cars and be also young he was,
We're talking of flying free. I mean, really free. No goggles, no altimeter.
No altimeters. It was when you look in between the trees and you lose the horizon. That's really time to pull. Or the reserve, that's kind of the game,
Yeah.
You jump after big parties or after you have not even slept last night, that's not an uncommon thing. To hear a stop, also not so uncommon. To have crater parties at those 80 years in the late 80s. Crater parties, like no Cypress, no one used the FXC anymore, the thing which you switch on, the big box there. Lots of sex and drugs and rock and roll and skydiving, ending up in craters. I've seen a few live, bouncing. Crazy times, things became better, like the rules changed. With my free fly idea, I ended up flying so much faster. So I didn't pull at 1,000 feet latest. coming in and a head down with double the speed. No. I quickly understood that that's not a good idea to live long. So I put and trained all my people. That's the 3,000 feet. And for many, many decades, even in the sim, it was still 2,000 feet or 2,500 feet or whatever, you know. Yeah. In my school, first school of modern skyflying, no, man, we pulled fucking much higher. Plus, then we enjoy the beautiful parachutes, you know, which my friend John LeBlanc makes. And the other people these days, you know. But at that time, PD was the first ones who had Excalibur parachutes, for example, the first high performance, crazy things. And as John was my friend, I got to fly some of the prototypes, you know, which is a fantastic honor and pleasure to think back to.
Yeah. And eventually, you make your way west to the west coast, to Arizona.
No, first I ended up in after too much party, honestly, getting involved with different people, getting scared of what that lifestyle could be like. I quickly ended up taking I already had at that time built a little float plane, which I built it myself in a chicken barn and taught myself to fly, and had so much fun to fly. And then I was living in a motorhome, built a trailer, put the airplane on the trailer, and drove to Davis, California, the furthest away from the new friends.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, man. That was like 3,500 clicks, and I ended up in San Francisco, basically, from like the land, you know.
Yeah.
And that was great because that was great. I stayed there for 4 years or something in Davis, you know, did my AFF work, did my first free fly schooling with Mike Vale, started the free fly clown idea, the teams, which then we became world champion with. That all started in Skydance Davis in California.
With the shooting range next door.
Yes, you know it. Yes. Yeah. It was O'Brien. What's Dan O'Brien and what's the other man? Ray Farrell. Yes. And Dan O'Brien. And Alistair Boyd was actually in charge of giving me the AFF job, which Ray Farrell was not so keen about because I have to admit I was a super hippie. He was not, you know. He called him Ray. Well, Alistair was in support of me, and I think I owe him a thank you. Thank you, Alistair, if you see this. He gave me some.
Sorry, go on. Go ahead.
He gave me some of my early AFF students, which no one wanted to have, you know.
Yeah.
One guy, I think he was half paralyzed on one side. He had like a sort of stroke, and I ended up like, no, we're not using the main plane. We're getting a little Cessna, and we're taking our time climbing out. We had like a 3-click jump run or something while climbing out until he got out there. You know, he could hardly grab the steps, the anything. Anyhow, I got students like this, and I enjoyed it. Special cases.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The free fly clowns, I mean, that's when my awareness of you really started. I started jumping in 1990, and I had the early VHS tapes.
Me too. Yeah. And then the C tapes. And with a click, you had to move 2 buttons at the same time. Click to record with a cable. It was not even buttons. It was like switches. You click, you know, like a fucking fuse or something. It was crazy. Yeah, it was nuts. I probably, if I would still have every camera which I ever used, I would have a little museum. And I would cry every day by the hundreds of thousands of dollars which I've spent on all this shit. This is nuts. I spent lots of money on this bullshit, especially in the early days. Oh my God, things were expensive, man. $5,000-6,000 on the head, easy.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it? How the prices change now down to the GoPros.
Now everything is more safe, more easy, and costs you fucking $300, and it's better quality.
Yeah,
user friendly. I did some movies. It took my first movie was in Super 8. You know, I had to send the film away to get it developed and get the film back. Then I had to go and rent a room in the monastery with the fucking nuns to go there, you know, after we puff out and stuff. And then we were like viewing our reels for the first time in the monastery, because they had a thing where you can put it in and look at it, you know, projector. It was nuts. Some of the reels, we didn't even film anything, you know. That was like weeks later we noticed that we didn't even film anything, you know. One of my first films, like I got so excited pushing the button, you know, it's like 16 millimeter things, you know, on the side of it. It's like super heavy, this shit, with big lenses. Never did a video jump in my life. Now I have one of those things on my head. I pushed the button, I think on the climb out. Before I climbed out, the film was finished.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you know, it's only like 1 minute film in that thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I pushed the button at the wrong time. So I didn't film anything during the skydive. It's just a film climbing out, you know, that's it.
But you ended up with, was it a Grammy? Emmy? Grammy? What was it?
An Emmy during the first X Games. Yes, they actually gave me one. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm very, very flattered. Yeah, and I didn't even go there. I remember one day I get a letter, and I'm in my treehouse in California. I have a treehouse on top of a mountain there, and I get my mail sort of like in a bundle, like every couple of weeks. I kind of pick it up, you know. And then I got all this shit in front of me, and I go, bullshit. A big envelope. Oh, big envelope. Nice, you know, nice sticker on it. Oh, looks good. Open it up. Oh, yeah, you won an Emmy. It's like, why did you not turn up on the ceremony in New York, blah, blah. And I go, oh, cool. Yeah. And then, if I want the trophy or what, you know, and where they should send it to, if I want one. And I go, yeah, send it to the treehouse, you know, I give it the address. So they actually sent me my Emmy to the treehouse.
That's incredible, Olav. Really, really. That famous photograph of you in free fall, head down with the Emmy in your hand, your hair down all over your face.
And an Armani suit. I did a lot of fashion shows for GQ and Max Magazine, even for Playboy and Joyce. I did like 7 fashion shows, hundreds of pages.
Yes.
Yeah, man. And Armani, full Armani. Some of the clothing I get like haute couture. And, you know, the pockets are stitched. But then they're not like for sale, those clothing. They come from other fashion shows. And when they're finished with all those fashion shows, then the last one who gets them is me. I get suitcases full of fashion from the fashion shows in the middle of the desert, for example. In Arizona, I did a lot of fashion shows, right? And then I'm living in this huge trailer, and I'm opening up 3 suitcases from GQ, sending me haute couture, Armani, Gucci, Calvin Klein, fucking 3 suitcases full, you know? And my job is like, I need to make 30 pictures for like 20 pages or something, you know, for GQ. And I got 3 months to do it. I need sunlight. I don't have artificial light. I need to figure out each page must look a certain way. I need to figure out how many models I have. My first fashion show, I had only 1 model who could fly real nice. So therefore was only 1 model on the pictures. Yeah. Couple of years, the next fashion show was already 2 or maybe 3 people in the picture, you know. I think the most we have is 5 people in the picture on one of the fashion shows. That was because there were no other people on this planet or in this universe I know which could actually fly head down while wearing fashion. Yes. Sometimes we hide the rig while putting the coat over it, you know, and I cut the coat, put some of the buttons, make it sort of very badly, but the intent was to make it more safe, you know. So in an emergency, you could rip it apart and then open your parachute, even if you couldn't get out of it early, you know. So then also the job was to figure out which clothing was the most fragile and which clothing will last 10 seconds in the sky with all the wind, or 30, or which clothing can I jump again? because it's a heavy coat and some cool shoes and a leather belt or whatever, you know. That shit I can jump 3, 4, 5 times and it won't break. But the Armani haute couture suit, I had to do some exit shots, position myself outside really, really good, you know, give a sign, and then the guy or the Stefania comes climbing out. As soon as she's in the wind, I must shoot the whole film, you know, because probably 10 seconds later, her clothing, her skirt is just ripped, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, shit like that. It was very exciting times, and most of it I did with Stefania Martinengo, as you know her quite well.
Yes,
my girlfriend for my big love for 11 years. Hi, Stefania.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Amazing. Yeah, I think one of the last times I saw you in person was in Ampere Brava, when you were both there. Maybe
probably Dubai, and one of the Dubai things.
No, but I mean when Steffi, when you were there with
with Stefania.
Yeah.
In Ampere Brava, we went often there. Yeah. Also in Dubai, you've seen us together.
Yes.
But at that time we were not like boyfriend girlfriend anymore. Now we are just very good friends.
Yes.
Who don't see each other very often, but talk sometimes. But yeah. So maybe
Incredible
back
time with the fashion shoes. Olav, over your career, who's impressed you? Who are the couple of people, 2 or 3 people that have really impressed you with their flying, that have really come through?
I would say Mike Vale, my first real free fly students, free fly clown number 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had no idea what I was doing because I could hardly fly. I could fly head down. I could go. I could fly different but I learned over the last 30 years many tricks as well, right?
Yeah.
So now it's my first choice. This guy just finished AFF, sort of, you know. And I meet him and we drink a beer in the parking lot. And I ask him, I mean, he's a young hippie too. And we probably smoke out like California style. And he's a potential new friend, sort of, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know the guy. So I ask him, like, well, what are you going to do? What did you do on your last jump? And he says, like, oh, man, I tracked into the sunset, he says. And I go, oh, wow, man, I have never heard anyone saying this other than me. You know, it's a time when no one does stuff like that. You know, you do a 4-way. You try to do a 4-way. That's what you do. You don't track into the sunset, you know, in the early 90s. So then he's cool. He's got long blonde hair. He's a ski punk, and he's young, and he's rich. And I go like, man, tomorrow, what are you going to do? We're going to jump together? And he goes like, I don't know how to pack yet, you know. And I go, don't worry, man. I'll pack for you. I'll show you. Yeah. Man, I showed this I'm not trying to brag, but I was so inspired finding this young man, this young man, this new friend, basically, that I packed for him. I showed him everything. I helped him make the B license, the C and the D license. You know what I'm talking about, you know, filling out all this shit, just so we can jump together. That was my new buddy. He was the only buddy I had, pretty much. I mean, like, plus he's super cool. I was lucky. And then he was so impressive. Whatever I showed him, he just copied like a monkey, an aviation monkey.
Yeah.
And damn, man, we became we flew like no man has ever flown before, really. And in '93 in Ampere Brava, we won the world championship in freestyle. There's no free fly yet. I'm saying free fly for freestyle, but it's not an official recognized anything, you know. My body knows I call it free fly, and that's Mike, you know. He's the other free flyer. So there's 2 free flyers. I think we rocked them up. My story goes like this: the rules say, like, show us 5 maneuvers, like a T and a stand up and a Darby and a straight loop or something. You know, that's the freestyle rules say like that. And if you point your toes and look the cutest, then you probably get high points and you maybe win. So that's kind of the competition. Mike and me, we go like, oh, fuck that shit, man. We go fucking we go rad, you know? It's like bullshit. Yeah, I'll show you a tea and I'll show you Daffy and blah, 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 whatever, you know? I'll show you 5 things. And then we did 40 other things. Like another 30 loops with twists and fucking rock and roll. And Mike flew and rocked and rolled and flew the camera like no one has ever seen, that the cameraman rotates also. It's like we showed them their fucking moves and our 40. And then one of the 3 judges wanted to disqualify us. And then comes in Norman Kent. He's also a judge at the time. He's the other one of the 3 judges. And he says, no, wait a minute. You cannot disqualify this team. You know, like obviously they showed us of what a Daffy looks like. You know, there it is. There's the other one, the T, and just the other stuff, you know, and whatever. And like you can't see what's going on. That's how much we showed, you know. And it wasn't necessarily pretty. It was just rad, you know. It was full on rad. And we fucking won. We won so good that one of our jumps, we've kind of fucked up a little bit. I mean, we risked everything, you know. We messed up. I mean, we filmed everything perfect except that one time. We didn't even give it to the judges. We had so many extra points. We just didn't give it to the judges. We said, fuck it. We won anyhow, so see you later, man. It's like, whatever. It's cool. Wow. It was fun. It was really, it was very fun. Living in a little red old fire engine, which I made into a motorhome. I met Stefania on that very same competition.
Really?
Yes. She was so cute and young. Oh, yum.
Oh, wow. You knew you were going to spend time with her, right? You knew she was going to be part of your life.
No, I was super busy doing my own shit there, you know. And actually, I recognized her, and Gaudensia, which was her sister, her older sister. With her, for Stefania was very new. She was super young and she was very shy, and no one really seen her much. She probably didn't do very much, you know. I've seen her, but the Gaudensia, she was more old, and she hang around with cool guys, and we did the party, and we had some drinking, whatever. I know her better, you know.
Yeah.
And then Stefania came travel once to Arizona, where I was living then at the time, and then we met there, and she never left. she came in the trailer and never left. Perfect.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Olav, it's such brilliant stories. I've got so much I want to talk to you about, but I'm kind of out of time. We've got to do this again, maybe a couple of months down the line, because I want to move on to the next bit. I want to talk about how the other free flyers started to come and the developments. But for now, Olav, what a great introduction to your life, and I want to thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
I could just listen to you for hours, man.
I enjoy my life, and I'm lucky that I'm maybe artistic, you know. I know how to keep myself busy with doing my little art or my little lifestyle, you know. I like to, it's cool. It's most important, and I wish everyone can be happy every day, you know. Keep on breathing and be happy, painless. And if that's, yes, and free fly your mind. Okay, thank you so much, Regan.
Thank you, Olav.
Until the next time.
Until the next time. Take care.
From Thailand. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye.